All right, hello and welcome in chat to another Tuesday evening Curse of Strahd session 5. I almost said 7 for some reason. I'm Charlie, I'm the DM for this group, and we'll go ahead and get started. Matt, go ahead and start with introductions for us.
Hello, I'm Matt. I'm playing Castlin Smoothmouse, and yeah, just excited to start to really get into it. So,
Nice. All right, Heather.
Hi, I'm Heather. I'm playing Harper the Human Ranger.
As opposed to all the other human rangers.
Yep.
Okay. Aaron, you're next.
Is it just me or am I getting feedback from somebody? Oh, I know what it is. Never mind. Forget it. I'm being dumb. Hello everyone. I'm Aaron. After my very stupid moment there, we'll just ignore that and move on. I am playing our trusty action figure slash rabbit paladin slash adorable southerner slash sometimes Irishman slash Theobun Cottontail.
Lots of flashes. Can I ask, did you just not have the stream muted?
Yes. I thought I muted it and then it didn't mute.
It's okay. I ended
And
an
I was
entire game because I didn't have it muted. Heather was part of that game. It was a Saturday morning one, and we could not figure out where the echo was coming from. It was me. I was the echo.
Well, at least I figured it out on my end relatively quickly.
No, we spent like 45 minutes and then we just ended.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was early in my streaming moments. Anyone who would like to recap where we've been and go from there?
I could do it if nobody else wants to.
Get some inspiration. The abundance. I'll
Well, well, we started in the
Durst Manor.
Yes, but I'm trying to remember whether okay. So we ended 2 sessions ago in the basement of Manor, where Walter or the Abomination or the spirit of Walter come back from the dead, whatever it was, came back, and we fought that. There was a bunch of spirit cultists there who were chanting for Walter to kill us all, but we ended up killing Walter. And
Man, these
then the
jerks
house
killing babies.
apparently we're a bunch of child killers or baby killers or whatever Walter was. I don't know anymore. But the house started collapsing on us. We went back the way we came through the basement. There was a funny bit where no, that's 2 sessions ago. We got out. We got back to we found the secret entrance to the basement. We got out. We gathered the bones of Rose and Thorn. I'm brain farting on character name right now.
Was
Harper.
it the black character?
Harper.
Oh, Harper. Okay.
No, Harper ended up picking up Thorn's doll, little rabbit doll, I think it was. From there, we exited out into the main area of the very top floor. That was when there was a giant explosion of fecal matter that proceeded to flood the top floor, in which we ran down the stairs very quickly to get away from. That was not entirely fun. I did not enjoy that mental image. We got down to the bottom level. Myself and Harper, well, Theo and Harper went out to just immediately try to get out. Our trusty sticky fingered rogue decided he wanted to go grab the sword. He did successfully grab the sword, but got separated from us because the house started sectioning off these different places. He then went into the kitchen, fought a bunch of stuffed wolves, almost died. I almost died as Theobon also. We only survived due to the power of channel points and the broken power of those things.
I don't think it was super broken, but yes, you did. That did help.
We eventually punched a hole in multiple walls. One wall to get us out of Durst Manor. The other wall was to get to Caslin in order to get Caslin out of the kitchen. So Caslin didn't get trapped in the house that was trying to kill us. We then got out of the house. We exited. We ran out through the house into out past the graveyard and everything. And once we got there, spooky carriage come up with Strahd's butler, I think, or something, basically saying how we were a bunch of disappointments and that he had a letter for us from Strahd. I don't remember if we read the letter or not, but that was basically where the session ended.
I forgot that there was a letter.
Well, I could be wrong. There might not have been a letter. I thought there was a letter.
It was just the guy who got out of the carriage and like
He
kind of
just gave you a
monologued at us for a
basket.
minute, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
he
yeah,
gave
that's
you
right.
guys a
It was just a basket with food in it. That's right.
Yeah, so you got a basket with bread, cheese, some wine. Each of you got a potion of healing. And then he exited. So, like, if there was a letter, I
Yes.
did not read it either.
I thought there was, but
There
again,
very well could have been. I was spacing on prepping for this one. The holiday. Alright, you
It's
can
fine.
certainly take some inspiration for the recap. So, yeah, we are kind of picking up with you guys. You're still relatively near where Durst Manor had been, but the carriage has since left, and as you all are taking a moment and doing your best to kind of make sense of the events that have happened, not only in the manor, but also meeting Rahiden, and getting those baskets that welcome you all to the land of Barovia. What would you all be currently doing at this point?
I would definitely be looking at the sword that I grabbed, thinking to myself, what an idiot.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. We'll come back to that. Let's see what anyone else has, and then I've got some sword specifics.
So, before anything else happens, Theobun, his fur is very matted from all the acid and everything he had to deal with from Walter, walks up to Caslin, who I don't remember if Caslin is taller or shorter than Theobun. I know they're roughly the same height. They're both like 3 feet tall, I think.
Yeah. So I'm 2'10", but I always say I'm 3 foot tall. So.
Yeah, I think Theobun's like a little over 3 foot. So Theobun's gonna walk up to Caslin, but they're basically the same height. And with his little furry paw, is just going to gently bonk him on the head and go, y'all need to not be sticky fingers all the time, especially when shit's going down, okay?
I'm
We got out this time, but in the future, be more careful. Please.
I'm sorry. I just loved the windmill on the hilt and everything. It just looked so good.
I'm not too terribly upset with you about it because everything worked out in the end okay, but just understand that sometimes y'all need a self-preservation gene in you, and I don't know if it skipped your generation in your family or if you just got a double dose of sticky fingers.
I'll have to keep keep the self-preservation in my mind. I'm sorry.
You're fine, Caslin. I'm not, as I said, I'm not too upset with you. I just don't want you to die for, well, what I consider potentially a relatively stupid reason. That's all. But if any of us are going to die, I'd rather it be for something.
I understand. Thank you for looking out for me.
Theobun would then proceed to ruffle Caslin's hair and then be like, all right, now that that's out of the way, we we should probably look to try to get moving, because I don't know if y'all getting the same heebie-jeebies from this area that I do, but I really don't want to stay next to this house that tried to just eat us.
I agree.
Before you all begin to move, is there anything Harper would need to do or say or anything? Because then I'm gonna give us a moment.
Well, after being double possessed, he's just gonna make sure all his limbs, all the fingers and toes are there. Nothing weird happened.
Yeah, you take a look, trying to make sure all of your parts are still there, and to your relief, or maybe to your shock, you still have 10 fingers and toes and all of your limbs intact. So as you all are taking this moment and kind of gathering yourself, and Caslin is taking a look at the sword that he risked everything for, looking at this perfectly straight, double-edged, steel-bladed sword that has a windmill engraved kind of near the hilt, and the hilt is wrapped up in a dark leather. As you take a moment, Caslin, and you kind of, assessing it maybe for its worth or value, or was it worth all the trouble that it caused. To everyone's horror, but especially Caslin's, you see as the sword transforms into far more than you originally bargained for. You can see that the sword is no longer one of perfection. Instead, it's one that's rather grotesque. And you see the blade and the hilt, they both have transformed into being made of bone. The blade is what you can only assume to have been a femur that's been kind of sanded down in such a way that it's razor sharp to the touch. The hilt seems to be made up of the humerus bone, and now it is wrapped in blood-soaked leather. No matter how you try, your hand keeps coming up bloody from holding on to this. You still see engraved near the hilt is the windmill, but it no longer looks like a prized, pristine, conditioned windmill that you'd seen previously. It's in a deteriorated state. Only the presence of the decaying windmill blades is what makes it even recognizable to you as being a windmill.
This is disgusting. Does anyone know anything about these things? I just kind of grabbed it because it was shiny at the time. Now it's not shiny. I don't
know anything about items like that. My own personal experiences, weapons do deteriorate over time, but whatever's going on with that ain't just normal, rust and lack of polish. I can give her a closer look. Theobald would kind of just get a closer look at it when it tried to directly touch it, as I assume Caslin has dropped it on the ground at this point.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I probably would have dropped it once it kind of turned into the grotesque version.
You tried dropping it, and as soon as you let go, it reappears right back in your hands. Yeah, you have attuned to it. Taking it out of the house, you were attuned to this item, and it's not going anywhere.
Oh dear lord.
Oh.
As you all are watching what's happening, anyone who has a passive perception of a 12 or higher, you can hear what sounds like a wicked and kind of flamboyant cackle that echoes through the air. It's not just any laugh, it's the kind that sends shivers down your spine. It's a chilling mix of amusement and madness. It's like whoever it belongs to is putting on a show just for you all, with every sinister chuckle carrying a sense of um, malevolence to you all. The laughter, it seems to dance between being chaotic and amusing, and it leaves this unsettling um, like tension in the air. And this laughter is a true agent of man. It's a symphony of madness that just leaves you all on edge. If you have a passive insight of 15 or higher, you can sense that this is coming from the sword itself. And I would say Caslin would also, since you were attuned, you would know it's coming from the sword.
I'll just kind of let out, and then I'll just, like try and like just put it in my hilt, or not my hilt, my like just. It's not going away. I don't like it.
Yeah, and I'm sure I dropped you a massive wall of text. It's just easier for me to put everything out there than trying to recall everything later. So.
Yep. That's.
Like, I could have hinted over time. Like, as soon as I hit send, I was like, maybe I should have hinted over time some of the stuff, but, I mean, you're attuned and it's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Alright, so as the group realizes this is not the place of refuge that it had been the previous night, and to Theobund's urging, the group begins to, leave the manor in this area behind. You're not too certain where you're going. The mist, it seems to have you all by the throat, pushing you along. If you fall behind a step or ever so slightly off the path that it's directing you to go, you can feel like your chest kind of begin to tighten. You feel as though like there's this heavy sense of weight on it of an elephant on you. Your eyes kind of burn as if acid has been thrown on you. Your skin feels like itchy and a burning sensation, as well as though like needles are being pushed through every pore. And you've quickly learned as you're walking that for now it's easier to succumb to those desires of the mist as you all begin to leave.
At the mist. Alright, I can't. Brain.
You gotta pick your accent.
Alright now. I understand you got a problem with this, but y'all don't gotta be so nippy at us about it, alright? Just calm down now, y'all, Mr. Mist.
What would Harper and Caslin think to Theobund talking to the mist?
He's got the spirit, I guess.
I would honestly probably think it was something weird with my with the sword that I'm currently carrying. Just like kind of like shout at the sword. Stop talking to him. This is terrifying. We just need to get to a town and figure out what's going on.
Well, now, I'm just assuming wherever this is pushing us going is where we need to go for right now, because we don't got much else choice, so all we could really do is try to move a little bit faster.
Yeah, exhausted with your spirits low and unsure, as you're wrestling with these mists, begging them to just let you all set camp, feeling as though you can't possibly go any further, feeling blisters boiling up, getting ready to burst from the pressure and the pain. You've tried to stop, you've tried to rest, to even sit for a drink, and the mists have denied you these simple pleasures. All around you, you hear howls, but you're unable to see where they're coming from. You're not even sure which direction to even look. You've lost all sense of time and direction. You've had to learn how to know where your partners are. One blink, one pause in a step is all it takes for them to be completely out of sight. And while you've never cared much before about them being out of sight, in the past, you know that here is not the place to lose sight of someone, to lose track. You're not sure what will happen if you were to fall too far behind, but you sure as hell don't want to find out.
So, with this just be getting more and more exhausting, Theobald's going to take out his trusty rope.
Okay.
And it's going to tie part of it to himself. He's going to look to Harper and Caslin, be like, look, I know we're all getting exhausted. I don't know how much farther we got to go, but we can't stop. And I'm afraid one of us is going to fall down. And if that happens, we're not going to be able to find each other again. I think it would be best if we at least had a little bit of potential safety here with this rope tied around each other. Just, I know it's unlikely. We don't know what's in this mist. It could get snipped very easily, but it's at least something to give us a little bit of peace of mind here.
I agree. I think if we all stay attached, we'll probably stay together a little bit easier.
I mean, the best plan we've got so far, so might as well.
Aaron, I know you already have inspiration, but go ahead and have a second inspiration because that was pretty good.
All right, thank you.
Well, especially I'm just kind of giving some narration and stuff, but interjecting in there, I feel like that was inspiration worthy.
I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
We all know what my dice rolls are like.
As you all begin to lose composure, like a child nearing a tantrum over a lost game, you feel as though you've had enough. The sounds of your friends has you going mad, or is it the mist? You're no longer sure. And just when you feel that final push, that moment when you're ready to snap, the mist clear back just a bit. Just enough for the three of you to set up camp, so long as the mist are willing, of course. And you begin your best attempt at getting settled in for the evening. And you finally have reached your first moment where you're not on as high of alert as you have been. The chanting, calling for your demise, it's finally kind of begun to clear out of your heads, and you're able to take a moment of pause and check in after everything that's happened so far with the group.
Also, I feel like just as a thing for chat and for our own sanity, who has Lancelot?
Oh yeah,
I've seen Castle have it.
I do.
I even got him some art.
I have him as a player. I can be Lancelot.
I think all of you should all have access to seeing him.
I just didn't know where he was physically with the group, because I think we always seem to forget we technically have a little pupper with us. So.
Hopefully he's feeling better and following along with us since I gave him some of a ration or a whole ration, whatever he would eat. So.
Would you all not have tied him to you all? I think it's just an oversight that we do need to...
Well, yeah, well...
Or make a leash for him.
I think... So, this is hindsight. I think what Theobald would have done is he probably would have cut, 10 foot of his 50 foot of rope and had it, fashioned into some loose form of a leash for Lancelot. Okay. So, he has, an 8-foot leash or so, roughly.
We can put him at the front. Maybe he's a sled dog or a pulling dog.
I don't think he's quite on that level of bravery to be the one in the front. I mean, he was cowering underneath the chair. when you all found him.
He's fine. He's gonna grow up and be a big, strong boy.
I feel like I just need to, on my monitor, I need to put a post-it note that just says Lancelot so I can remember to include him.
I even put him like first in my notes today, or like last in my notes yesterday, and I completely forgot.
I mean, I'm even like
did
staring at
did,
his icon on the stream.
I know. Also, if Stream doesn't know, the little pupper down there is Lancelot. In case Stream didn't know, he's a little black boy.
Someone make me an animal handling check. Let's see how Lancelot's doing.
I feel like that's most likely Caslin, even though it's more in potentially in Harper's wheelhouse. But I feel like Caslin was the one who grabbed Lancelot and named him. So
I'll take a shot at it.
you can do it. I believe in you.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah. You all have him tied up, and he's been reluctantly, but still kind of moving with the group. I mean, with you all is better than with the ghost. So, like, he's here for it.
Good, Lancelot.
All right, so you all are able to set up camp. And again, we are using the alternative rule, so when this is done, you will end up with just a short rest instead of a long rest. And based on that, we are, is it 4 hours for a short rest, I think is what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, would you all keep watch, then, is my important question.
Yeah, because if you
We
said
probably should.
I definitely think it's a good idea.
Okay, and then my next important question is, who, well, watching order, and then are you all going to rest longer than the 4 hours?
I
mean, you technically
we're
would
not
have
going to
to
get the
for everyone to
benefit.
get
We're not. Well. I'd probably say as long as we're not really doing, excuse me, as long as we're not doing much for the short rest, I think we could just take the 4 hours and then somebody has to double up because we technically only have 3 people right now to have watched during the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously Theobun would volunteer to take the double watch because Theobun.
We can. I'll interject. We can split the. I'll do an hour and a half. You do an hour and a half, and Harper, if you just want to do an hour, I think we can get a little bit of a rest done at least.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll definitely be up for an hour.
All right. So is it Theobald, Caslin, and then Harper?
Yeah.
Okay. The first hour and a half goes by uneventful. You don't really hear or notice anything. The mist are kind of choking out most of what you'd be able to see as you all are kind of there waiting. Caslin goes ahead and he gets up. The next bit of time, the first part of his hour is relatively calm in the same kind of way, like just, a sense of relief. I guess as calm as having a sword made out of bones that you don't know who they belong to can possibly be. And I do have one other question. Theobald and the ring that he put on, is he keeping that on?
Would you allow me to take it off after attempt to take it off after seeing what happened with the sword that Caslin had? I mean, technically, Theobald would not have. I have not thought of it, so most likely, like, Theobald would have only tried to take it off considering the events surrounding the sword, but if it doesn't come off, like the ring didn't, like the sword didn't go away from Caslin, then yeah.
Let's do this as a compromise to see if he would think of it. Let's do some kind of intelligence check.
Yeah, I
if
can just
you-
roll flat
Yeah.
intelligence check.
Or if you think it, I'm always unsure the difference between intelligence and wisdom because I feel like I'm both intelligent and wise.
I mean, it's technically the same roll for Theobald, so.
Okay, yeah. So, oh yeah, you immediately, like, kind of going back a bit. As soon as you saw what happened with the sword, you took off that ring pretty quickly. What would you do with said ring?
I still. So I still think Theobald would keep it just because of the fact that it could still potentially be useful. He just kind of has the heebie-jeebies. So he probably just has it in a separate pouch from everything else on his belt. Like, you know how you have pouches for various small things. So he probably just has it placed in there.
Okay. Yeah.
Just because,
fair.
like, I don't think that just because of that event, he'd 100% just be like, okay, he's not going to fully assume that it's bad because we also found it, like, not necessarily on one of the evil people from the Durst Manor. It was on one of the dead bodies that were already there, so it might be fine.
Okay, fair enough. Just so I can make a note for the future, can you roll me a D4?
Yep.
You get to determine what this ring is. I mean, I'm not going to tell
That's
you, but
the one.
I will at least know. Okay, cool. I have no idea where that is in my notes, but I will make a note. One.
Oh, Godright's asking if the ring had changed at all since we left the manor.
Nope, the ring has not changed it at all. I mean, assuming that you are now looking at it after taking it off at the manor, it's still the same appearance. It just looks like a gold.
Yeah, he probably
ring.
would have fished it out during his watch just to check it.
All right, sorry to have gone back. I forgot about that piece.
You're fine.
All right, and then Caslin, as you are kind of getting towards closer to it being Harper's turn, you see this figure come stumbling out from the mist. Actually, I'm sorry, I was narrating too soon. You didn't see them. They come out stumbling from the mist from behind you. Can you spare a coin, sir? I just need a coin so I can fill my empty stomach.
Being as terrified as I am currently of everything right now, I'll do. Halt! Who goes there? What? Where did you come from?
Do you think you'd be startled enough to need to do a fear check?
We can definitely check.
All right.
Uh,
Go ahead and let me see. I'm gonna roll to see if I think you would need it, and then we'll go.
No.
Oh, my chat is different than normal. Well, that's weird.
If it is against being frightened, I do have advantage on those, so because I have halfling bravery or the brave uh, passive ability.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you are in the clear of, like, you're startled, but you don't need to make a wisdom save. But you do see as she comes and she's looking for you, asking for, it's an, like, she looks to be like an older lady, very torn clothing. I think what would stand out to you as being surprising is, like, she was in the mist and came out okay with it, and she goes, a humble soul like me, I'm just trying to feel my stomach, and I need some coin. Can you spare any for me, sir?
Well, I guess I guess a gold couldn't hurt, and I'll just toss a gold over to her.
Yeah, she takes a look at the gold coin. She seems a little skeptic of it, but, like, she kind of looks it over and uh, thank you so kindly. I appreciate that you did not deny coin for a hungry soul. I hope that your heart finds peace and that you are filled with kindness from all around you. And with that, she disappears back into the mist, and it
Just
is
kind of like
time for
shout
Harper.
after her. Just kind of like shout after her. Don't forget to pay it forward.
Such a good movie. You're shouting startles Harper awake for his turn at watching. Would you say anything
Character.
to Harper?
Oh,
Like,
uh, there was just a weird old lady who just came up to us or came up to me, I guess, in torn clothes, asking for something to fill her belly. So I don't know. Maybe we're in an impoverished area. Maybe this fog isn't normal. I don't know.
I mean, I figured the fog wasn't normal, and to be fair, you just need to say old lady. They're all weird.
True, true. But I did give her a gold, so if she comes back, don't go giving her more.
Don't let her be greedy.
Um, okay, I'll be sure not to give her a gold coin. I wasn't planning on it, but thank you.
Just gotta make sure all is known. Then I'll just lay back down.
Foundry does not like me being logged in 2 instances. Okay, as Harper takes watch, we are not in the death house anymore. There we go. Harper, about halfway through, you can hear, off in the distance, music. It sounds very similar to the, like, waltz song that had been played in Durst Manor. You kind of catch yourself even kind of humming along a bit. Upon hearing it, Lancelot begins to kind of bark. I mean, not kind of. Lancelot begins barking, kind of like nipping at the air as he's barking.
Well, first I'm gonna try and get Lancelot to be quiet. Hopefully, Castellan trained his dog.
Okay, give me animal handling.
If it'll click. I don't know why it double clicked. It only did it once. I'll take the one just because that's funnier. No, not like it was amazing.
Okay. I think, is it the, did you get a 7? Is that the one that you got?
No, I got a 4.
Oh, it's so weird. It won't let me. Okay, but with your modifier, it's a 7.
No, I got a 1, and then with my modifier it was a 3. Beyond lag, so when I clicked it, it like double clicked it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Lancelot just keeps on barking. Just like barking at, like, you don't see anything. He just, but like he is not letting this go because he thinks some shit's getting ready to go down, as said in the chat.
Um, um, well, if that's the case, I will just get my bow out and, call out and be like, who's there? We're not giving you any more gold.
I don't know what the role would be, but if you feel like Caslin and Theobald would awaken to this, you all certainly can. If you think that you are that tired you'd sleep through, you certainly can do that as well. But any who awaken to Harper drawing his bow, and Lancelot barking, and I guess would Caslin or Theobald wake up?
I would
Mm,
I would like snort and try to like grab to cuddle in with Lancelot.
Yeah, so you're just kind of like grabbing Lancelot, trying to, in hopes that that will help him be quiet.
Yeah, a little calmer. Well, and like still basically asleep, like just in like that barely like
Mm-hmm.
not even fully awake, but like just try and like cuddle in with Lancelot
Yeah.
since he's warm. So
Yeah, like, when my wife gives me a shove, but she doesn't wake up, but she shoves me awake because I'm snoring, that type of thing, but instead grabbing the dog.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Um, Go ahead and roll me animal handling. I'm gonna say with disadvantage because you're still sleeping.
Oh dear.
I mean, you just gotta get better than there's 4. Oh,
I got a 7.
yeah. Um, he like when you go to kind of wrap your arm around Lancelot and like pull him in, he like begins barking like right in your face. There's no staying asleep for this. As you awaken, you can hear the tune as well, coming from off in the distance.
I like having heard this tune before, I would definitely get up and uh ask what happened? What like how did this start?
Magic. We'll just say a wizard did it, because that's where I'm at
Basically.
right now.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I mean, I don't know. It just started up, and then it caused Lancelot to go off. So,
Well, yeah,
I
it's
mean,
very faint for you, but like it's like loud and piercing for Lancelot.
I
You
should
know,
have bought him earplugs.
I've heard that that dogs have good premonitions when it comes to like ghosts and things like that. Maybe something's coming.
I hope it's not more ghosts.
Me too.
You all sit for a few moments, trying. I mean, maybe not sitting, readying anything just in case. But nothing ends up coming through the mist or anything at all. Um, Eventually, Lancelot stops barking. You stop hearing the melody that was dancing across the night. All right. At some point in the evening, for each of you, like when you um when you all were sleeping, you did have a bit of a dream where you can see yourself walking on the path that you all have been walking along. The forests are thick, the mist are kind of pushing you along, similar to what you've experienced, but you kind of feel like as you're trudging through the cold and that silence, and you can only hear the crunch of your footsteps in the dirt, the mist finally part. And when they do, they reveal this large tent. And you can see it's stitched together with various like materials and things that stretch across wooden stakes. And as you move closer to the open tent flap, and again, this is just a dream that you all have had, you can see in the candlelight what looks to be like an ancient seer woman, and her fingers are gnarled as she's laying out cards and upon a table, and she's speaking softly to herself. Her voice is barely audible over the sound of the flick of the cards, and you hear her as she is putting those cards down. You hear a flick. Warriors come, flick. Toys for Strahd, flick. Wait, not just warriors, flick. Adventurers, flick. They could be so much greater. What will become of them, flick. She looks up, milky, sightless eyes stare directly into yours, and you feel her blind eyes probing, seeing deeply within you, laying bare your very soul. Come, champion, through the gates of Barovia. Your hour approaches. There is much you need to know. Seek out my people. Do not tarry over long, for the fate of the world rests upon your shoulders. And with that, that vision fades as you awaken. All right, you all get to take a short rest.
Say, man, I need to stop getting possessed by ghosts. Some weird shit's happening.
We can say for the sake of narrative that you all kind of dozed for a few minutes, like after Harper dozed at the last few, and that's how you all have woken up after each of you having that dream. What would the group like to do to start the day?
I am still trying to figure out how to do a short rest on here.
No short rest for you.
Oh, there it is.
Hmm. Is the mist still really heavy?
It's not as heavy. It's kind of drawn back a bit. But it's still there. But it's giving you a bit more breathing room today.
And I'm going to attempt to be a ranger and figure out which direction we need to go in, and hopefully not go back the way we came.
Okay, roll me some survival.
Also, I don't remember at the end of last session, did we how did that all work out? Because I was super low on health, wasn't I? I'm just trying to think for.
Oh, did it restore you?
Nice. Yeah, it restored me back up to 21.
Came back up at 22, which I know wasn't right, but
I don't understand why it's restoring you all. That is really because it's not happening.
I mean,
in, like,
I would have
other
just
groups.
yeah. I mean, I would have just burned an extra hit die to get myself more healed. So
I think I have like 2 HP or something, so I'm just setting it.
yeah,
to
we were both in single digits. But I'll roll my another hit die here.
Yeah,
I think I was
mean,
at like 4.
if you all want to do your best guess at where you were at, and I will start recording it
Okay, so
in main sessions.
So I'm at 20 right now.
There, I'll take that.
I don't know why it's like, and it's so bizarre because that's not happening for you, Heather, in the other campaign, is it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's just this group that's mentioned that. But I will make notes. Okay.
They might also just remember what they left off at sometimes, but I don't know. It's just kind of funky.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because I did remember getting myself up to 22 HP, but that was during the fight with Walter or after.
Oh, you did get health potions, so you might have restored some from that. But I can't remember if you guys used those or didn't use them.
I did not.
Okay. Yep, I will.
Yeah, I don't think I did.
I will just start recording it and I'll post it in the chat and pin it. That way we each week, just to keep it simple. Because I don't even know what would be the module that would be causing that to happen. I guess. Let me see. I'm gonna just go back to see if I open your tokens on the last scene that we were in, if you guys are full health or not. Oh, that's fun. I can't open your tokens. Can you all open your tokens? Is this just a me thing?
You think you should be able to, but I guess not.
I have my pop out. Like I just always open my character and have my pop out open.
That's so... Okay, I can open... I can't actually click anything that I drop. I can't click and open it. Oh, I can open his. Okay. I don't know. I will just start recording now. No biggie. Okay. Did you make that roll, Heather?
I did. I rolled a 7.
Yeah, I bet that's it. Actually, what Cody just said.
Oh, yeah. I guess Yep. That's probably what's happening. If you guys are updating there. Yeah. With the mist, it's too hard for you to even be able to determine like which direction is which. You're not even sure you're north from your south right now.
I am definitely going to ask any of the other two if they want to take a stab at that. Or if they're willing to just follow me. We'll play a trust game.
I'll ask Lancelot. Have you been to a town near here, boy? Where do we go? Is Timmy in a well?
I mean, if you're really trying to read from the dog, I guess you could do an insight to see if you're picking up any vibes of if he knows where to go.
I like it. That's insight.
Okay. Well, we'll just go. The dog is kind of ushering you all in what feels as though it might be like the from where you all are coming from towards the west. Feels like that's where he wants you all to continue. I did not expect you to get a dirty 20 on that roll.
I didn't either. Well, do we want to? I guess we keep on hearing that this is a place called Barovia. Well, I guess. Did anyone else have that weird dream last night?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That be one word for it. It was certainly something.
Well, I had such an odd dream of a lady in a tent, and no, this one didn't ask for any money, Harper. Uh, but she was talking some weird stuff about something about that Strahd guy we keep on hearing about, and uh, how we're coming through the gates of Barovia. So uh, maybe maybe Lancelot knows more about Barovia than we do.
I mean, if I were a betting man, and I am, I say we can rely on that dog's instincts.
What do you think, Theo Bun? Should we follow the pup?
I mean, it's as good of a spot as any.
Perfect. And then I'll say onward, and I'll pull out my sword by accident. Ah!
Lancelot rolled a 6 in survival, but yes, he can lead the way.
I mean, it's not like I did any better, let's be real.
That's true. All right. So everyone, you all are heading off in the direction that Lancelot's kind of sniffing towards.
I think so. While also kind of like trying to keep, at least Caslin is trying to keep his bearings about him, so that like if he starts to pick up like the sounds of maybe a town or something like that,
Okay.
he can try and pay attention a little.
Yeah. You all pack up from your rest, and it is still fairly early. I lost my little time tracker thing. I don't know why it disappeared. But I would say it is, you guys, it's probably um we'll say it's like 4 or 5, somewhere close there. So it's still pretty early. But you all are determined to kind of get going. In the area itself, with like the mist clinging, there's not like a huge difference like with the amount of light and things, because everything is just really choked out by the fog. And so as you all begin to leave after spending the previous day being pushed and bullied by the mist, this the start of your trek here, the mist is kind of stepped back a bit, and you're able to see like the trail beneath your feet. It's clear and straight, and you can make out black pools of water that stand like dark mirrors in and around this muddy roadway. There are giant trees that are looming on either side of the road. Their branches seem to be clawing at those mist. And you walk for about a mile or so. And after that, you come to this like slight rise, and looking back from the top of the hill, you can see the fog is still kind of splitting out the forest. It is swallowing up the road that lays behind you all. Ahead, you can see a thick, impenetrable forest on both sides of the road. It's hard for you to really make out anything that's ahead, but you do see this stone, looks like a gateway, and there's an iron door that's hanging on the stonework. You can see dew that's kind of clinging to these rusted bars, and you see these two headless statues of armed guardians flanking the gate. Their heads are laying amongst the weeds at their feet. And they greet you with their silence. And this is what you are seeing. Maybe, if it plays. And in case it's not going to be nice and play, you this.
I mean, it's playing, but there's just not any sound.
Yeah, there's no sound. It's just a video showing it.
Oh.
It's just an animation. I like this picture too from the book itself because it like shows how massive it is to scale. So you all can see that up ahead.
Well, that's ominous. I don't know if I want to know why the heads are on the ground.
I mean, they could just be all, erosion and all that.
Could be. Yeah, true. Look at you making me feel better.
It wasn't on purpose, but you're welcome. I mean, I guess we go in.
Do we
Go
do we knock or do we just walk?
I don't think we need to wait. No.
Alright,
Okay.
are you all approaching?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
As
Theobald's
you all
probably in the lead.
Okay. Yeah, Theobald takes the lead on this, and as you approach, when you get to be about 30 feet from the gate itself, the doors of this gate, they swing open. You can hear the screeching as those hinges move. Seems to be welcoming the group in.
Well, now they done rolled out the welcome party for us.
It seems that way.
Yeah, you all continue walking through. Once the last person has passed through, you hear that screech again as those gates close from behind you all.
I really wonder who's controlling these things. That's
Pretty
nobody even
advanced.
asked us what our business was.
I believe it would be as you say in the trade magic.
Oh. That's good.
Sometimes it's better just not to think about things. They're generally answers it's better left unknown.
Good advice. I'll just kind of start looking around a little.
Oh, that's not creepy music at all.
Ooh, I like it though.
Yeah, I mean, it's very fitting. It's, gates of... Oh, it's not what I wanted to play. I just saw gates and I went with it. It's the wrong gates. That's super fitting now. Here we go, we'll go with that. Okay. As you all move through the trees, the tops of them getting lost in this heavy gray mist. The mist is becoming thick again. This death gray light colored. It's hard for you to even really make out tree trunks. They all seem unnaturally close to each other with how thick the forest itself is. And the forest itself has this like silence of a forgotten grave. but it seems to also be carrying with it this like feeling of an unvoiced scream. What are our passives? What is everyone's passive perception?
12.
15.
13.
Okay. Caslin, you pick up this foul scent. It reminds you of what you would have smelt in the manor in the basement, specifically with what you all presume was Walter. It smells like that.
Just make a like scrunch my nose up. Smells like a weird vomiting baby in here.
Oh gosh. Okay. You all continue. I wrote too many notes. You all continue moving closer towards that foul scent, and you see as the mist kind of clear, you can see this corpse that is in front of you. You can't really see like the way that the mist is kind of cleared out. You can't see anything like beyond the corpse. It's almost as if it's like created like a void surrounding. And you can see this young man. He looks as though he was just a simple commoner. His muddy clothing is torn. He is raked with claw marks. Looks as though crows have already been at the body. And you can see that there are paw prints surrounding this body that lays here.
Well, now I guess it was chow time for somebody.
You all
like
see... Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'd like to see if I can determine what the culprits come from.
Okay, survival on that.
Let's see if I can do it this time.
They match Lancelot's. No.
Oh, there we go. Finally, some good rolling. Yes. So you take a look. These are really large paw prints. They look to be wolf-like in nature, and so you would know based on like your previous interaction from the night before with the wagon chase. It looks as though this would belong to one of those larger wolves that would be chasing you. I don't know, because I'm not sure how you were playing Harper. If you feel that Harper would know what a dire wolf is, that is what these paw prints belong to.
Probably not. So
Okay.
we'll just say it was a really big wolf.
Yeah. Well, and like I mean, he definitely had been and seen the wolves from the night before, so like you would be able to at least put that much together. It belongs to one of those big wolves. As you were taking a look around, you do see, well, the man has obviously been dead for several days, and you can see in his hand a crumpled envelope.
Here we go. Yeah, I'm gonna take the envelope.
Okay. All right. We're gonna go ahead and do a break then, and then we'll come back and get to what is in the envelope. So we will do a 7-minute break. We'll be back at 7:30, and we'll go from there. All right. If you're watching the stream, we will be back in about 7 minutes. All right, welcome back, everybody. So we left off with Harper reaching to pick up the crumbled envelope that he Harper. I am right, right? Harper's he him. Heather.
He, they.
Oh, my bad. Why haven't you
No, you're
corrected me?
because I really don't care.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Just like
she
in real
they.
life.
I'll do better. I probably won't tonight though, because now like that was a set, but I will do better. It's so I'm used to you and all of like the very like the other two campaigns. All right, so Harper, they've gone to reach for this envelope that you see in the hand of this dead, decaying corpse. And as you reach to grab it, you suddenly feel a as though there's something else that is grabbing at that envelope and kind of pulling it back a bit as you are trying to pick it up. It's as though something else is trying to pick it up. You look to your side, and you can see it's not Theo or Caslin that's grabbing at this envelope. What would you like to do?
I'm going to turn to Theo and Kathleen and go, "Am I allowed to stab this dead body?" Before I draw my short
Are
sword.
we sure that? Are we sure now that body is dead?
Upon hearing you say stab at this dead body, the mist draw back, and you guys can see. So you all are like at the head of the body, the group of three, and now you see another individual that is more at like the feet of the body, reaching for the envelope. And everyone, welcome Cody to the stream. And Cody, if you want to go ahead and introduce, you can just tell us what we're seeing appearance wise with Apollo.
All right. Well, you guys would see probably the sexiest satyr guy you've ever seen before. Look, tight black clothing, goat horns, very handsome. But as you look down towards the bottom of the body, you would notice the goat-like legs. But yeah, that is what you'd see.
And you've just heard them talking about stabbing the dead body. If that gives you if there's anything you'd want to do or say. I mean, they didn't say they were stabbing you, but
And I'll say, as long as the dead one, and kind of back up a little bit. Hello?
Apollo, would you have let go of the envelope, or would you be still trying to grab it as you're stepping back?
I would definitely try to be grabbing it.
Okay, Harper, would you have let go of the envelope, or would you still be trying to grab it?
Yeah, I would have let go of it because I was gonna pull out my sword to stab a dead body again.
Okay. Yeah, so Apollo, you are standing with the crumbled envelope in your hand, and you see Harper with their sword drawn.
Theobon would kind of like hop over from where he was standing. I'm assuming he was standing a little bit off to the side, and like kind of takes a position between the two. All right, now we don't need to go stabbing each other. Let's all take a deep breath and relax and see if we can talk the situation out and figure out what's going on. Because, to be honest, as he looks over at Apollo, now, how tall is Apollo?
6 feet tall, so double your height.
So Theobon's just gonna slowly raise their head and look up at Apollo. Also, you're too damn tall. But that'd be not really a problem right now. That was just an observation. Anyway, you're like the first person that's actually been a person that we've ran into here, aside from maybe that weird. I don't know if Theobon found out about the person at the short rest. Did Caslin tell Theobald about that? Or was that just between Harper and Caslin?
I think you would have been asleep probably at that time. So.
Okay, so Theobald wouldn't know about that. Good. So, well, you're basically like the first actual person we've had a conversation with that didn't try to hurt us. Well, I guess there was that person from Strahd, but like he was there and then gone, so I don't know if that counts.
Wait, are you also here to tell us about our Lord and Savior Strahd?
Oh yeah, we should probably ask that.
Who the hell is Strahd?
Oh, thank God.
Okay, we're okay. I think I think we can be okay. Well, first off, hello. My name is Theobald Cottontail. I am a paladin, who in service of nature. Pleasure to meet you. And Theobald is going to stick out his tiny little rabbit paw, like extending it as high as he can above his head, so you're not like just reaching out from your waist.
I'll reach down, but I'll be kind of worried because we are sitting next to a dead body. This wasn't you, was it?
Pretty sure it was already dead before we got here, but you know, things happen in the mist where things just jump out and all of a sudden it's dead, but pretty sure we didn't kill this one.
Pretty sure, but not 100%.
I mean, I didn't kill it.
One can never be 100% sure.
I don't think Caslin killed him. I don't think Harper killed them. But can we really be sure of anything in this crazy place?
Well, I'm glad you didn't suspect me, and just give you a smile.
I mean, given the fact that you were the one asking about the body, I kind of made what could be a rather poor assumption that you didn't do it either.
I like you.
As you all are
Also-
having this conversation, you can hear a lone wolf howl off in the distance of the forest.
All right, Mr. Wolf, y'all can be quiet now. It's not mating season. You can just be quiet for a little bit. Theobald just shakes his head. Also, he looks to Caslin and Harper. Apologies, I didn't mean to introduce y'all for yourselves. That's a bad habit of mine. I apologize.
Oh, well, and I'll just kind of wave. I'm Caslin Smooth Mouse, the smoothest mouse on this side of the gates, I guess now. So, very nice to meet you.
I'm Apollo, by the way.
Oh, good to put a name to the face.
I'll give a slight bow. So, have you guys been here long? Gonna look around.
Depends on your definition of long.
Well,
Like, maybe a day or so, I think. I'm not entirely sure. It's really hard to tell when you really don't see any sunshine.
I'll be honest, this is the first interaction I've had in what feels like forever, so...
I feel like I've almost died like 4 times just since we've come in, so...
I mean, you did kind of almost die at least twice.
True.
I mean, I can't talk. I almost died once.
And what about your small little dog friend over there?
Oh, this is Lancelot. He's our little buddy. He actually kind of led us here, so he must kind of know a little bit about this area. So
I'll scoot down and give the dog a pat.
Yeah,
Now, we're sure this...
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
We're sure Lancelot didn't kill this guy, right? Let me look at the paws. Oh, that ambiance is crazy.
At this point, you all have had about you've heard 3 wolves like joining into the howling that has happened off in the
I'm
distance.
definitely gonna put my sword away and grab my bow out. Just
Theobon
in case.
pulls his shield off his back and grabs his morning star from his belt.
Do
You stupid wolf. I swear I'm gonna come and beat your ass with my mace or my morning star or whatever I want to call it. Because y'all need to be quiet.
do we think we could possibly have our conversation while we walk? Maybe have you found any kind of civilization here, really?
I've been just wondering for God knows how long. Honestly, it's a surprise just running into you guys and this body. And I'm gonna pull out that note that I picked up.
And just for the DM to be aware, are you all walking now at this point?
Yeah, we're gonna be walking
Okay.
now.
Okay.
But Theobon's still wary, and is also going to look to Apollo. Y'all still holding on to that letter? Perhaps we could see what that letter pertains to.
All right, I'll open up the letter. Is it the one that's in my notes?
It is not the one that's in your notes.
Oh,
Yes.
interesting.
I will. Yeah. You all didn't hear that. No one heard that. Okay. This is.
Oh, Galaxy.
And I will drop. Give me 1 second because I have it open. Let me drop the easy to read. Although that one's easier than other ones have been.
Interesting.
Should I read it aloud for the stream because it's blurry on stream?
I was just grabbing the easy text. If you want to, you can, or I can. It doesn't matter.
I mean, if you want to, you're more than welcome to. I don't want to steal your thunder.
It doesn't matter to me, but I'll go ahead. Hail thee of might and valor. I, Burgomaster of Barovia, send your honor with despair. My adopted daughter, the fair Irina Koliana, has been these past nights bitten by a vampire. For over 400 years, this creature has drained the lifeblood of my people. Now my dear Irana languishes and dies from an unholy wound caused by this vile beast. He has become too powerful to conquer. So I say to you, give us up for dead and encircle this land with the symbols of good. Let holy men call upon their power that the devil may be contained within the walls of weeping Barovia. Leave our sorrows to our graves and save the world from this evil fate of ours. There is much wealth entrapped in this community. Return for your reward after we are all departed for a better life. Kalyan Indirovich Burgermaster.
Interesting.
Sounds important.
Sounds like a reward to me.
Yeah, we can make it up for not getting the den mother earlier.
Well, this certainly sounds like quite a big pile of potentially troublesome events.
Now, I don't want to alarm you guys, but I'm gonna pull out a second note that is worded differently from this note. So listen, this is all I have on me, and I've been kind of in a haze for the past couple of days, but this is the only thing that I don't remember getting. And it's a second note that is worded differently than this one. You guys don't seem like all that different from me. So I feel like I can share it with you. please don't be bandits and just instantly take my stuff now that I have some trust in you, but I'd show you the other note. I think
Aaron,
Charlie posted it.
if you want to read this one in your voice, you certainly can.
Um, Hail to thee of might and valor. I, a lowly servant of Barovia, send honor to thee. We plead for thy so desperately needed assistance. The love of my life, Irina Kolyana, has been afflicted by an evil so deadly that even the good people of our village cannot protect. She languishes from her wound, and I would have her saved from this menace. There is much wealth to this community, and I offer all that might be had to thee and thy fellows if thou shalt but answer my desperate. Come quickly, for her time is at hand. All that I have shall be thine. Kolyan Dirovich Burgermeister.
As you guys can see, they're written much differently. One says to leave the community, and the other says to come quickly. Thoughts?
I mean, to be fair, this whole place gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Fair.
Now that I think about it, though, we've also we've been in a place where parts of it seemed almost untouched by time, and the other parts were extremely touched by time. So, uh, maybe time doesn't work the same. Maybe these were actually written at different times, and I don't know. This is confusing.
Witchcraft.
What?
If I were to hazard a guess here, is that on one hand, this Burgermeister fellow wants to save his daughter, but on the other hand, he could be suffering from what this mist is and is afraid that whoever comes to save her is just going to end up trapped here too. So perhaps one of the letters is saying that those who come here may not leave, but I mean, if you're here, you might as well try potentially. I don't really know. There's also potential for some magical tomfoolery around this Burgermeister's headspace when he was writing either of these. So it's going to be rather difficult to tell, but either way, we got to get some more information if any of us wants to get home.
Agreed.
I have a second question for you guys. Have you even ever heard of this place called Barovia before? I've never heard of it.
Not before. Well, yesterday. Whatever. Whenever we first kind of showed up here, we were fighting a giant wolf that could talk somehow, and uh, it brought up Barovia, and along with that, then after we dispatched of it, it turned into a human. And
What the hell?
all of this is very confusing.
Huh.
Real quick, can I take a closer look at that letter?
I'd hand it to you if I still had it.
Okay.
Heather, do you want me to reopen the one that you all just got?
Yeah, because I do want to make that comparison myself.
I'm just gonna put it in the chat because I think that might be. There you go.
Oh, you are right. Would you look at that?
Do you need the other letter?
No, I've got the Strahd letter.
Okay.
That one I could open. So I am definitely going to point out the fact that the letter that we have in chat and the letter I got from, was it the dead body? So I'm going to pull out the other one and kind of show where the seal and everything is the same.
Oh yeah, the one that you got from the the dead body in front of the chest.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I kept that from the hoarder.
And it didn't turn into anything creepy. They're both in chat for comparison's sake.
It seems like a lot of people might be under this Strahd von Zarovich's thumb, kind of.
What a name. Sounds like a tool.
Agreed.
You know, I don't disagree, but I would prefer to refer to him as more of a uppity and rather sure of himself gentleman or aristocrat type, as it were.
Oh, have you guys met this person?
We've met someone that he sent to kind of bid us welcome here. He said that we, since we only saved 2 of the children, we seemed somewhat weak, but oh, that's a whole other story that we haven't gotten into with you.
Wait, you saved.
Yeah.
Did you kill a child?
We ourselves did not directly kill any children. There was the potential reality where we might have killed the remnants of a long dead child.
Technically, it seems like poor parenting actually killed that child, and then we just re-killed it.
I
Been
prefer
there.
to think that we freed it from a very terrible situation.
Exactly.
Enough said. I hate children, so you could have just said you took out a child. I wouldn't have cared.
As
Well,
you,
no.
oh, go ahead. You go ahead.
I'm gonna incite Godric, sorry, Apollo on that I hate children line.
Go for it.
Just so I know what I'm dealing with right now.
Oh my gosh, Harper can't roll for shit tonight.
No, I can't.
You want me to roll something?
I mean, I will let you, like, the way I go with things like that, you can decide what you think the DC would be for Harper to figure out whatever.
I'll say this because I wasn't really like hiding it. I'll give you the flat answer. It seems like Apollo's definitely joking when saying that, but there is some truth to it as well. Like, I hate children, but
I just wanted to see if he was trying to like fit in with the cool kids because he thought we were cool because we killed a child, or we thought we were cool because we potentially killed a child.
Would you all describe the child that you killed?
No.
Like, you're just letting him think it's like a precious little
all right.
baby?
The child we dealt with essentially became about a 15-foot tall monstrosity of some sort with more mouths than limbs and tried to proceed to eat our souls, essentially.
If you're watching the stream, that is the child that is on showing up right now.
It also spit a ungodly amount of bile on my fur, and my fur is still recovering from that. I'm really not feeling very comfortable with myself right now. My fur hasn't finished growing back yet. But yeah, we dealt with that one. We put to rest his siblings whose bones we found in the house that we inadvertently stayed at. So we at least helped 2 of them potentially return to their parents, albeit one of them I'm pretty sure was a not a good guy, as it were.
Alright.
He did a lot of work with some blood magic and other dark magics. So don't know if he's in that happy place, but we hope that the children went to that happy place.
Yeah, I've also fought some demon babies in my time. Totally get it.
I mean, based off what you said, don't you think all babies are demons?
I mean, it's not necessarily when they're babies. It's when they get a little bit older, little shits. No, never listen.
I believe my father had a very, very timeless line when it came to parenting. You spend the first couple years trying to get the little youngins to walk and talk. You spend the rest of the time until they become adults trying to get them to sit down and shut up.
Father sounds like a smart man.
I listen.
Oh, that's actually one thing we've never talked about, Theobun. How many siblings did you have?
Yes. If you want the specific number, I can go through them all for you. But we might be here until we all roll over in our graves.
That would be perfect. If we could find a bar at some point, we'll have to talk over sibling numbers and stuff like that.
Let's just say it was more than a dozen.
So you're saying the term "fuck like rabbits" holds true?
At least with my parents, yes.
Good on them.
Yeah, they wanted to make sure the how you say it, the progeny would not die out. They certainly made sure of that.
Goodness.
Well, I have no questions.
Great. So going back to the letters real quick, one thing that you would notice, comparing the letters in addition to the things that you saw similar, the one is extremely old that was taken from Durst Manor in comparison to the one, that was found that, gosh, why am I spacing, Apollo had, and then the other one that was in the hand, like, it looked like it's hard to kind of put with the state of deterioration on it because, you know, it's been out in the elements. So, all right, what would the group like to do as you hear some more howling coming from off in the distance? But it seems as though since you all are currently walking, it is getting further away, not closer or anything.
I assume we're gonna keep going
Okay.
until we run into something
you
that
run
seems
into
like
something?
an inn. Or like if we see something that looks like an inn, I'd probably say we look to stop.
Okay.
Also, do you guys mind me traveling with you? I mean, I've been alone for quite a long time, and I don't want to just throw myself in here, but I feel like we have a good rapport so far. You know?
I'm sorry, no, you're not allowed to travel with us. You have fleas, and I'm sorry, I'm just getting my fur back. I can't have more fleas.
Well, I wasn't gonna say anything, but you guys smell like vomit. That's totally not me.
I think it is just Theobun. So once we get him in the bath, he should be just fine.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I cannot control the fact that baby monster spirit, whatever it was, decided that it was very angry with the fact it could not hit me, so it proceeded to continuously spew vomit all over myself, and I did not enjoy that experience.
It was great.
You know, that does sound like a child. Now I think about it.
I would say that Caslin and Harper probably also smell pretty rank, but not as rank because you all like sludged through that water to get out of there. So you probably got some smells lingering as well.
True. I smell stale.
What?
All right, you all continue as the heavy mists continue to roll across the road, kind of creeping between the weather-worn trees like gnarled, ghostly fingers. The air carrying this unnatural chill and the hush of silence falling over the woods like a burial shroud. And as you walk, there's something that catches your eye. It looks like a hunched shadow in the fog, watching silently from the underbrush. And then, as quickly as it came, it vanishes. As you all continue, your footsteps quickening on that path, your boots kind of squishing in the wet brown mud, you see gray tinged light filtering weakly through the treetops, and then it darkens, and you can see an enormous avian shadow overhead that briefly blocks out the day, and it disappears, leaving not even a stir in the air in its wake.
Like an owl or a bird?
Go ahead and roll perception if you're wanting to.
First roll. Let's go.
Come on,
You do
nat
it.
20.
I believe.
First roll, and this totally matters.
Hey, that's not bad.
As you're kind of looking at it, I mean, it seems more raven-like than like owl-like as you're looking at it.
Interesting.
I wonder what the chances are I could hit it.
Oh, it's gone pretty quickly.
Well, damn it.
I don't like birds. They can carry me away. Lost 2 brothers that way.
They were just.
Oh,
I
shit.
mean, did they ever come back, or were they just gone?
I never saw them again. I didn't stick around long after that happened.
I see. Note to self: Caslin does not have a good relationship with birds.
Not even a few moments have passed, and that daylight blinks out once again. And this time you see what looks to be kind of like a reptilian shadow soaring across the heavens. It has bat like wings spread wide, and it too kind of plunges into the mist and gets devoured by the fog as dozens of tiny bird-like shadows felt among the ancient branches far above, and these birds or shadows follow into the mist, and silence falls once more.
Guys, this place is terrifying.
Yeah, I'm putting this very high on my list of places not to recommend to my siblings to visit. If not number 1 on that list. As I said, I think we should be looking for a place where we can not be outside and not get not turn into critter food.
Agreed.
Yeah, agreed. I get behind the 2 short kings.
Yeah,
Trailing
as
back.
you all continue, you keep seeing these things come into view and kind of, they appear and they are quickly gone, like whispers of the wind. And the next one that you see is a tall, slender figure that's looming in the darkness. It has feathered wings spreading eloquently from its back before it, and it melts into the shadows as well. A few moments pass by, and you see another one as it comes. This one is really broad-shouldered, and it seems to be lurking. Instead of being up in the sky, it's lurking among the moss-covered trunks of the trees. And you see a shadow of an axe across its shoulder as it slowly curls a clawed, swollen hand. It holds your gaze for a moment, and then it fades back into the fog from which it came.
So, at this point, I'm kind of getting sick of this shit, so I'm just gonna start making bird noises.
Okay, make your best bird noise.
Go, go!
Oh, that was pretty good. You
I
see
can't.
one final figure as you're making out your bird noises. And it's a tall, cloaked shadow that's sitting atop of a horse, and it's the horse's shadow mane seems to ripple like flames. It flickers in the fog, and it seems to be the figure sitting on the horse seems to be appraising you, as though it's trying to assess you and get a feel for what value you bring. And its presence feels palpable to you even from a distance. And then there's a roll of thunder that echoes across the skies, and before you even blink, that figure is gone, and the forest has fallen silent once more.
Be like, you think I impressed that last one with my awesome bird call?
I got a good feeling about that one.
Roll me a perception, and if your passive is higher, tell me what your passive is.
Everybody.
Yep, everybody.
My passive's definitely higher than that.
Well, let's go.
My passive is 12.
Okay.
Harper and I tied.
Alright, everyone but Theobun. So Harper and Caslin, you would recognize in that last, if you will, for lack of like a better word, vision that's like been watching, you recognize like the red glowing eyes. You feel as though you have seen those eyes before. So I guess it would be 2 nights ago with where we're at in the story. When you all were under attack with the wolves, you saw one of the larger ones that were just kind of watching you, and it had the same red glowing eyes. Excuse me. Apollo, you also can kind of recognize the eyes. It says that it feels as though like you've seen them before, but you can't quite determine where, like, but they do seem familiar to you.
I have to ask, did the figure look more handsome than me? My character's very vain.
You feel like there's no way he could compare to you. From a
Seems about
distance. Anything that you all would do or say, or we're just keep working to find an inn or a village? Safety.
Yeah, I think safety is at the top of the priority
Yeah.
list at this point.
I don't know, I personally love getting haunted by weird specters in the middle of the forest.
I used to see them when they're in a house. They do some weird shit.
I already tell them
Yeah,
I love this place.
I prefer not to remember the things that happened in relation to the ghosts at that place. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it any more than that.
Alright, you all continue. Sorry, I end up drinking so much water when we play. You all continue walking, and because of like the chokehold that the mist has had on the group, you do feel more exhausted than you probably would otherwise. And you feel that kind of same thing where, like, soon it's going to get the better of you and you're walking as fast as you can. And it's about that time where all of a sudden, when you feel that you're at the point of breaking, just because you don't know, like, you have no real sense of direction. Lancelot's howling every few moments as you guys are walking. He's very easily spooked by things, but then you're not sure, like, should we listen to this, or is he just spooked? Because you can't really see anything with the way that the fog is, since it's heavily obstructed. And as you are just at your end, you suddenly notice the ground changes. Underneath your feet, you suddenly are stepping on wet cobblestone.
Oh, thank God! I'm finally feeling some semblance of at least humanity, maybe.
Yeah, and
That may be a strong term.
as you continue walking, there are tall shapes that were looming out of that dense fog, and they become recognizable to you as being village dwellings. And you can see the windows of each house staring out from the pools of the blackness. There's no sound to be heard, except you do hear a very loud, mournful sobbing that is echoing through the streets from a distance.
Is there any
That doesn't sound good.
I was gonna say, is there any noticeable water nearby?
Besides, like, the puddles?
Yes, besides the puddles.
Like, are you looking like, when you say water, what are you looking for?
Like a canal, a river, a stream. You know, like something the La Llorona would
Okay.
get you with.
There is not any water nearby.
Okay. So that's one less step into Murderous Cove.
Hey guys, I think that crying person might smell you.
Definitely a possibility, but maybe we should see why they're crying.
I mean, you're the charitable one, so yeah, you should go first.
Oh
I mean,
boy.
you definitely don't have to go search the crying. We're at a point where I need to look to see where I think you are, what else you're near. You can definitely bypass it. Oh, that map is not useful. Okay, I'm winging it. So you can decide if you want. It's just that is the sound that you currently hear as you're entering into the town. You do see various houses that some of them look as though they've been deserted. The town itself, I mean, it's, besides the crying that you're hearing, it's pretty, I don't want to say dead, because that's not the right word for this campaign, but it's it's not very lively, I guess we'll go with. You don't really see anyone out and about. You just see some of the homes have their candles lit in the window as you are moving your way through the town. As you move more inner, the crying does become louder, as though you're getting closer to the source. But then you do come to what looks to be a tavern. And outside of the tavern, you can see a statue that stands that looks like the one in the chat. Oh, I need to close that.
Was the crying coming from the direction we're heading?
Yeah, the more in that you go into the town, like, it seems as though you're getting closer to it. So, like, when you were standing off out on the outskirts, like, it was very faint, and the further in that you go towards the town square, it's getting louder.
I mean,
But
should we check, guys?
I could definitely go for an ale, but it's up to everyone else.
I think getting into some place where we're not outside is a good idea.
It does sound as though the crying is coming from within one of the houses, so wherever you would like to go, if it's in the inn or if you would like to go into the house that the crying is coming from. You just let me know.
Is there like
I'm
windows?
Okay, are you wanting to investigate where the crying is coming from?
If it's not like creepy or I'm like looking to somebody's shutters, like just kind of like eavesdropping a bit near the door, see what's
Okay.
going on.
Yeah, as you all are coming in to town and making your way to, like, kind of using the crying as maybe a guidance to get to finding like the center square. When you get to the town square, and you can see the tavern up ahead, you also can tell if you were to turn to the right and go down a little ways that you would come to where that noise seems to be coming from. And go ahead and roll an investigation as you try to take a look in the home.
Oh no. Hey.
Okay, and what are you wanting to determine by looking?
Just if somebody seems like they're in trouble, or if it's just like your typical like house stuff going on. If it's like out of like not normal. If somebody's crying because they're like getting beat or something.
Okay. As you approach the house and you take a look at it, you do see inside. You see a woman who is just. It looks as though she is. I mean, she's sobbing. Give me an insight. Okay. So you see this woman here. She is sobbing. She's holding on to a doll that you can't quite make out as she's kind of like holding onto it, rocking, and it seems as though she appears to be, you would assume, grief stricken. Yes, I found a place to put the Theobun action figure. Midjourney did not do very good at making a Theobun action figure. I gave up.
That is unfortunate. Maybe someday. Diabun will kind of just like tilts his head like a little bit and look at the woman. Aerith, excuse me, ma'am. Is everything
So right now, you all are outside. Look, like you're peeping toms looking through the window.
Oh.
I
Oh.
am having no part of the peeping.
You're too short.
Yep, I can't see.
Yeah, Theobun's also probably too short, but he's kind of
Yeah.
looking at everyone else and be like,
Need a boost?
y'all see anything that we should be worried about?
Some old lady's crying in there.
She's not that old. She's middle aged. I'll have you know.
Is she wearing
Well,
all white?
we could try to go inside and see what the problem is. Or we could just walk away.
Well, the crying is bound to get annoying if she keeps it up. Maybe just go talk to her. Maybe.
Well, we should go to the inn or the tavern first, see if we can hear her crying in the tavern, and then decide based on that.
I do like that idea.
You're brilliant.
All right, we're going to the tavern.
Let's go drown her sorrows.
Agreed.
Okay. Let me get that pulled up. And just so I currently am not on the, like, I can't see Foundry, so if you all roll, if you could just tell me. Because some of this was hard to put into a journal entry. So as you all approach the tavern, you see, you can see a single shaft of light that is thrusting its illumination into the main square. Its brightness kind of looks like a solid pillar amongst the heavy fog that you've been walking through. And above the gaping doorway, you see a sign that is precariously placed, proclaiming this place to be the Blood on the Vine Tavern. You also see, as you're walking through the town square, you see an old chipped stone statue that's standing at the center of the town square, and it's depicting a man that's looks to be wearing leather armor and holding a sword. So at this point, you're by the statue. You can see the sign to the tavern, the light that's coming out. Would you all look more closely at the statue or just keep on going?
I'd take a look at the statue.
Same.
Yeah. As you all look at it, you can see that the statue has a weather-worn plaque at the base, and it reads, Ismark Antonovich the Great, Burgomaster of Barovia, Bane of Vampires, 618 to 662 BC.
Seems like a, how you say, upstanding fella to those around here, I suppose. Not so much if you're a king or a queen, I guess.
From quite some time ago, if I remember when about we're from.
According to the calendar on Foundry, it is 1491.
So yeah, I have not been able to adjust that calendar. For you all, it would be 1491. There's no way. No, actually, never mind. Ignore me. It will probably come up later. None of the letters have been dated, have they? I don't think they have.
I don't think
Okay.
so.
Okay. Ignore the DM, because we're not there yet. You don't need to worry about that. So to you all, it is 1491. Cody, I will let you decide when you think Apollo would have came into Barovia, what year it would have been. If you can go with it being the same time frame, that is fine. But if you think you've been roaming around for a while, you can pick a different time if you would like. I mean, the big thing is
fairly
time is
close.
different. Okay. We'll just go with it being it was the last thing that you knew was 1491 as well.
Well now, my math checks out. That would have been something like 800 years ago.
True. It's amazing that it's actually that this statue is held up so well.
Did the plaque on the statue say something about vampires?
It did. It's said that. Sorry, too many tabs. Where is it? Bane of Vampires.
That worry you guys?
I mean, to be frank, everything about this place worries me. It's just another item to the list.
I mean, we have to worry about who be sucking next out here. I don't know.
Well, if there is some of them about, I hope they don't like the taste of rabbit.
Here too. And halfling.
All right, you all going to head into the tavern?
Yeah. Yeah, I think
All
so.
right.
Just thinking, it's like, wait, Harper's the only human in this group. He's fucked.
Yep.
Give me 1 second.
Oh, no, I think normal people eat goat and rabbit. So
Yeah, so you all enter into the tavern. It is it's pretty empty inside. You do see off to at one table there's a lone man that's sitting. He appears to be human, has like long shaggy blonde hair. And then you can see that there is the barkeep as well, and then you see another table that has three women that are sitting about. They are dressed in very vibrant colors, clothing. And as they are kind of sitting there and stuff, they're not really showing any interest as you all come in. The barkeep also doesn't really give much of a greeting or acknowledgement to the group.
It's a friendly place.
Definitely pretty lively. This is better than I was expecting.
I mean, compared to where we were, this might as well be the red carpet treatment.
Finally, I'll kind of flag down the barkeep. Barkeep, I'd take a beer if you got one.
Yeah, as you go and get the barkeep, he is very monotone in speaking with you, and um what will it be? And he doesn't even like it doesn't seem as though like there's any kind of spark to him whatsoever as he speaks to you.
Just a normal beer. I guess I don't know what the customary beer is around here, but uh
Wine. We drink wine.
oh, okay. I'd go for a wine then.
Yeah, he goes and he gets a bottle and pours a glass. All of his movements feel very like robotic in nature to you. Like he just doesn't seem what you would have expected from a barkeep. Like when you think of a barkeep, you think of someone who, you know, like you're gonna pour your soul out to, and it doesn't feel quite the same. But the three women who are in sitting, like they're very um, animated in their speech and kind of talking and whatnot. It's kind of a really contrast between the two. And then you do have the lone man off to the side, but I mean, it would be weird if he was animated talking to himself.
guys,
Yeah.
I think one of us should talk to the women,
I will.
and I volunteer.
Oh, damn it. Can I
no.
be your
Buds,
wingman?
By all means, if you want to go first.
I mean, you can't have all three.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna give you guidance and bardic inspiration. Go for it.
Okay.
I'll mark that off.
Yes, I will approach the women.
You approach the women, and they look up from their conversation, and they meet your eye, and what can we do for you?
Oh, hello, I was just seeing if y'all were having a lovely day today, ladies. Oh, God, I'm going to the customer service voice. Give me a second.
God.
While she's doing that too, I'm using my entertainment or my entertainer feature to like kind of play a little, just a little something on my hand drum, just to give a little bit
Okay.
of beat to the whole mood.
Yes. Can you roll performance for me as you're doing that? Yeah. The women look up at you, Harper, and they're like, we're having just as pleasant a day as any, I suppose. And to what do we owe the pleasure? So describe for us what we were seeing Caslin do as he's beating to the beat of his own drum.
At first, meaning for it to be like a something kind of like slow and just like something to kind of set like a little bit of a mood for just the chatter that's happening. Uh, Accidentally turns into more of a fast paced. I mean, it is only a hand drum, so there's not really many tones that you can get out of it, but just much more fast paced than first expected. Not great.
Yeah, you see the individual that's sitting off by himself kind of look up at you, and at first, like, he was kind of nodding along, but then as the pace kind of picks up, he kind of has lost interest in it. He's not really a fan of your rock that you got going on. Back to Harper. So, the women, they look up and they acknowledge you, and so, to what do we owe the pleasure of you being here? What welcomes you, what brings you in?
I just, I was lost and I found my way here, and apparently here was to where you were. Oh, I'm
And
being rude. Sorry, my name is
yes.
Harper de Cuervo. Can I get your lovely lady's names?
I am Alanka. You see the one that was speaking with you point to herself. This is Maribel and Servia. Welcome to our establishment, the Blood of the Vine Tavern. I see you all have gotten a drink from Eric there. Um, we do have some of the best wine around, although I wish we had more of it. You kind of get like a nervous laugh from her as she says that. Is there anything that we could do for you all?
I was just wondering what there was to do around town. Any sights to see? Any fun activities?
Oh dear, this isn't a tourist destination. This is a far be it from that. We'd encourage you not to come here expecting tourism. It's very bland, if you will.
Well, I found in my travels any place could be a tourist destination if you try hard enough.
I suppose that you are right. Ladies, is there anything that you all could think of to suggest to our new friends? Servia just kind of looks the group over, and well, a lot of people do enjoy visiting castles. You could go and admire. I don't know that I'd say beauty, but admire what the size of Castle Ravenloft. That could be of interest.
That does sound interesting. Can you give me any history on it?
Maribel kind of chuckles and says, well, Lord Strahd, I feel, is making up for something, if you understand what I mean. No one needs a castle quite that large.
No. And it's just for compensating at that point. I mean, seriously.
Well, the history of it, I mean, it's been here as long as we've been here. I don't know that there's any more history to it than that.
And with the Lord Strahd, mind if he got visitors or tourists, I guess? Or would that be something we should probably save for a later date?
He. It's such a hard question for the DM to answer. What would they say?
Apollo's giving you 2 thumbs up, like you're killing it.
Yeah, frequently has guest visits, so I suppose he would be quite alright with that. Mirabelle answers you.
Well, we will definitely add it to our itinerary at some point. I would offer to get you a glass of wine, but considering you own the place, that might not be a very good offering.
We've got plenty, my dear, and they each hold up a bottle of the wine. Also, because I did not say it before, it's for the glasses of wine, it's 1 copper each.
How much for a bottle?
Oh, shut the fuck
Hell
up,
yeah.
Heather.
Sorry, you're the one who told me the price.
Apparently a pitcher is a silver. I feel like a pitcher probably holds the whole bottle.
So
But I mean, you could take the bottle. You could take the bottle.
Silver piece. Picture. Okay. Let me write that in my notes. You know, gotta look like I'm a big spender or something, like I've got money.
Yes, something like that.
Apollo's looking at you. What a big spender. They definitely have money.
I mean, if it were like, I guess better, I'm not gonna say that to them, but I'm sitting there thinking if it were better wine, it probably would cost more than a silver piece for a bottle. Okay.
Have you had the wine yet?
No.
Oh, okay. Has anyone drank the wine?
I drank a little bit, yeah.
Oh, you're like nervous that I'm gonna make you make some kind
Small,
of
so
save.
like one cup is a lot for me, so I just drink a little at a time.
The wine is probably some of the best that you have tasted.
Perfect it out.
This is dangerous stuff. This is pretty darn good. I'll have to pace myself.
You say that, I buy a glass and instantly down it.
Oh, darling, wine is not meant to be chugged like a beer. It's meant to be savored.
I'll savor the next glass.
You're treating
There's
it as
another
though
copper
it's
for it.
a mere ration when it's really like a steak. Yeah, you
Well, I
slide
find
your
this-
copper forward. Eric doesn't like really pay any attention to you all. Like you give him the copper, he gives you your drink, he goes right back to cleaning glasses. And pretty much ignoring anyone around him.
I'll turn towards one of the women and say, well, there's definitely other things that we can savor as I look into their eyes.
You'll make us blush. You are far too young for us.
Can I like insight or perception? How old do they look?
Yeah, you can perception it. I mean, you can use your passive or roll. I don't care either way.
Perception. My passive's 13, but
I mean, I also don't even know how old Apollo is, so this could be a really awkward situation. I'm just really
I'd say
bad at
like low 30s. I'd say he's
Okay.
like full adult.
Yeah, they look to be probably about in their like 50s, upper 50s. They look better. I didn't think to generate art for them, and I know the module doesn't have any. They look better than the woman that you saw in the window, but they look similar of age, just much more well put together and such, and they're not sobbing.
But I'll say, also, have you met my friend Theobun over here? Then kind of back out a bit.
What y'all trying to rope me into now?
These beautiful young ladies were just telling us about how exquisite the wine is, and I'm gonna keep slowly backing up.
I mean, I'm personally not a drinker, so like I can't exactly say yay or nay on that. But judging by the look on Castleton's face, the fact he's going for another class, or at least attempted to, I'd probably say it's pretty accurate.
I'm just sipping mine. I didn't go for a second glass. I'm just lightly drinking it, and then I'll stop playing my hand drum and walk over to the other guy here.
Actually, you said they had bottles with them. Does the bottles they have, do they match what the Strahd servant gave us?
Oh, damn it. Uh,
Sorry.
Things to remember, a long list of things on the DM list. They do look very similar. The flavor, if you will, and I'm not going to make something up because I know I will butcher coming up with something. It is from the same winery, but it's not the same flavor of wine.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
was
a
wondering if
wine
I did.
person, so is it called flavor? Is that the right words?
I don't know.
I mean, it could be just a different vintage
There we go.
from a different year.
Yeah. But it is the same label that's on there.
Hmm.
And the label that you are seeing. Oh gosh. I'm spacing on what it's called. You know it's bad when the book is probably the faster way to go. I want to say it's just Wizard. Is it Wizard of the Wine? I feel like that's like a really.
I don't know, maybe.
I think that's what we're gonna go with, and then I will correct myself later. For my MO.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
it's not
asking all
jumping
the
up.
difficult questions.
No, you're fine. I just didn't think about thinking of where the wine comes from, and I know when I click through a bunch of stuff, I'm pretty sure it's the Wizards of the Wine.
Okay, if it's the same thing, then I was just gonna gift him the bottle we got.
Yes,
But
it is
if it's the same, then
Wizard of Wines is what's on the label.
so scratch that plan. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to back out of this conversation now too.
Hey,
Not
Castlin.
Well, now, ladies, I do believe we should allow you to enjoy the rest of that lovely wine you keep speaking of, and y'all have a great rest of your evening. And Theobald will kind
Well,
of
thank you.
lightly
We
tug on Harper's coat.
we appreciate that. Make yourself welcome. And then Caslin is going to the individual that's by himself.
Yep. Yeah. I'll go over and
Okay. So
Actually,
as
lightly obnoxiously drag a stool over and
okay.
and like hop up onto it and just sit across from him and ask, "Good evening, sir. How was your day?"
So as you are doing that and beginning to talk, and the others are finishing up with talking with the women kind of gesture at you all and like towards the individual that's by himself, and they say to the group, they go, you probably don't want to waste your time on Ismark the Lesser. He's probably not worth the time or energy. And then
Um,
go ahead.
no, it was just it's internal reaction. Go ahead, continue.
Okay, you're good. Yeah, so Caslin has loudly pulled up a stool, and the individual looks up from the table. He seems very saddened as he looks up, and oh, hello there. How can I assist you? Is there anything that I can do?
Oh well, just good conversation would be the best thing. And I'll reach across and go to just reach my hand out to shake his hand. My name is Caslin. What would your name be?
My name is Ismark.
Ismark. It's very nice to meet you.
You as well.
I guess what would there be to do in town here? And as I'm kind of uh speaking with him, I'd start to work in some kind of thieves cant a little bit to see if he understands anything that see if he also can code in thieves cant a little bit.
And he would have said so. Um, he is Ismark Kolyanovich. He would have given both names to you upon introduction. I just wanted to make sure I was right with the last name. And he looks. He doesn't really take to the thieves' cant at all, and you um. I don't know that I would say that there's much to do. It depends on what has brought you all here.
Well, that's part of the problem. We don't really know what brought us here. We suddenly we were just in some fog, and then as we kept on wandering, we just kind of showed up here. There was some weird old houses and things like that. So that's we're just trying to find our way through, I guess.
Uh, it's unfortunate to hear. It's not good if you've been brought in by the mist.
Does that happen often? People get brought in by the mist, or
I would say more often than not. Otherwise, no one really comes to these parts unless they've been summoned here. Unfortunately, I do wish that you all had not found your way here. This is most unfortunate.
well, when people normally come through the mists, is, is there a way that they can kind of
Death.
work death is perfect.
I'm not even
um
sure if that gets them out of these wretched lands.
well what do the I guess where why do the mists normally bring people here? Do you know?
Listen, I don't want to be rude. I just don't know that this is my place to discuss or to share. But I do know if you were brought here, and time will be what tells.
Oh, well, that's all good. I didn't mean to pry too far.
You didn't.
So
I
so
didn't say that. I just, sometimes it's just better to leave things alone that are not yours to tell.
fully agreed. Sometimes we really just need to roll with the punches as they come. So I guess what do you do in town here?
Well, I mean, it's all changing soon here. I suppose I'm the burgomaster, or perhaps, or will be. I'm not really entirely sure. He has like a look of despair as he's talking.
Well, actually, we ended up finding a letter from a burgomaster, but it doesn't match your name, correct? That's trying to go back to
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those old things, and I don't remember like how like the way
yeah.
the names all get matched up and stuff from olden days. Letter you say? Do you mind if I take a look at it?
Well, I don't have it on me here. I'd have to. And then I look. Apollo, did you have that letter?
Uh, I believe Harper has both of them.
Oh, Harper.
I'm just gonna walk over to him. He can't respond to my one.
Okay. Which letter are you going to hand over?
I'll just give them both to him. That way they're not my problem anymore.
All right. I will decide which one you do first. Let's roll. Okay. All right. As you slide the first letter over, and you hand the first letter, you put the other one on the table. He's holding the first letter. The first letter is the one, um, that Apollo had on his person. And so he begins to read it as Mark like takes a look at it, and he's reading, and he gets like, and he's kind of mumbling so like you can keep up. He's like going through, and he gets to the love of my life, Irina Kaliana. The hell, the love of whose life? And he like continues like reading through, and like you can see his anger is kind of pulsating through him. He gets to the end, and he slams his fist down on the table in like a fit of rage. This is not from Burgermaster Colleen Indovich. This is not my father's handwriting, and this is not his seal. Let me see that other one. And he picks up the other letter, and he immediately like doesn't even have to read the other one. Like he looks and he goes, "This. Do you see the difference between these two? This letter here is the one that's from my father. This other letter, it can only be from that awful, terrible beast. Strahd. I will not call him a lord. He is no such thing. He has been doing nothing but causing our family just so much anguish and pain. Is this some joke to you all coming here with both of these letters? Who exactly are you, and who sent you all here?"
Well, like I said, the mist brought us here. Well, I guess I can't say the same exactly for Apollo. I'm not sure of his story, but uh, we were all swept away by the mists when we tried to when we were hunting wolves for a town, another town.
And how did you come across these letters here?
Uh, if I remember right, one of them was on a corpse that we found right outside the giant gates into this place, and the other was on Apollo's person.
The corpse. Can you describe the corpse that it was that you saw?
Well, oddly enough, actually, it was surrounded by paw prints, and yeah, it looked as though it had been just mangled by wolves or something to that nature. I'm not great at not great at naturing, but
I wonder if that was Dalvin. He has been missing for a little while. And you said the other letter was on you, and he points towards Apollo. What business do you have of this letter?
Well, first off, lower the tone a bit. I see you getting very antsy about these letters. Listen, I
Would you
don't know
not
how I got
be?
this.
Would you not be antsy? It talks as my sister as if she and won some prize, and he's the one that's causing this ailment that's mentioned in it. And not my father just wanted to keep her safe, and now we have all this, and he is no longer here. So of course I'm antsy.
All right, fair, but we didn't know that. I'm gonna point to everybody, so I'm just not being singled out. We didn't know that. I just had the letter when I got here, so all this accusatory stuff, don't need it in my life. Okay?
This
Yes,
letter just
I
appeared
feel
on
bad.
you.
Well, I'll be honest. I don't really have a recollection of how I got here. That was the only connection I had to this land. So
On that same topic, the other three of us, we aren't sure how we ended up here. We were on our way to someplace else. We were attacked by wolves on the path here, and all of a sudden we ended up outside of a bunch of houses, which I really don't want to talk about that experience. But we got through it, and then we walked for a really, really long time, and that's when we ended up here.
Okay. Roll for me.
Persuasion?
Yeah, persuasion will be the best thing. And I would say
Talk
you can
it up
pick.
to-
I mean, I was
I'm using an inspiration on that. Because that is not okay.
This guy's gonna fucking
Okay, there
hate
we
me.
That's
go.
better.
That's much better. You see, as Ismar kind of takes a breath, and he goes, I'm sorry. I've let my emotions get the better of me, and I've not given you a fair chance to explain your story. And I know that this cursed land. I mean, it does things to a person, and I apologize. You see, my sister, she is vulnerable where Strahd is concerned. And the letter that you've given, the first one, that letter, that is the seal of Strahd. And, many are afraid to speak his name, but I am not afraid of him. I've spent the better part of my life training in the hope of being able to confront and to kill him. Because he is nothing but ruin and destruction for the land of Barovia and the people here. And my sister, well, she has become prey to him. He has been outside of her home hunting, stalking her, and I know that I need to get her moved, but I know that that's a bit of a gamble to get her out of the village of Barovia and to another place I'd rather not say here He kind of like motions, like gives like a little sly like nod in the direction of the three women, and I I don't know what it is. He is attracted to her, drawn to her, and I just want us to be gone of this place. If we could leave beyond the gates, we would, but there's no escaping here.
Theobald's gonna look towards him and say, "Well, I got a couple things. First off, no need to apologize. Family is a touchy subject. I can understand that as somebody who comes from a very large family. I'm sure if any of my siblings were in a bad situation and some people came along with things implicating them further or potentially otherwise, I'd jump to conclusions myself. So no need to feel too badly about that. We do appreciate the apology, though. Second of all, this is a general point. I don't get the fear of speaking his name when my father always told me growing up that the fear of the name increases the fear of the thing itself. Like, yeah, he's probably very powerful and all that, but I mean, everything's got weakness.
Yes, and that I agree with, and I've not once been afraid to say his name and to call out the bullshit it is that he does. Well, being as you are here, and perhaps there could be good that comes from this all, would you all be willing to accompany myself and Irina if we were to leave this village behind?
I look at everybody else. I think having people who actually know this area to help could possibly help us. We could build some rapport with them.
While I do agree with that, my concern is that bringing her out of here, like, don't get me wrong, who knows if it's any safer on the road than it is for her here, but my concern is that if Strahd is truly after her, it's not going to matter where she is or what we try to do to stop him, at least right now. We might be able to do something someday, but I think
She's a
the
sitting
best
duck
course.
here, though. If we, and I guess maybe I shouldn't say we. I am going to leave with her if it's the last thing I convince her of, and to at least distance her from him. She doesn't know. She can't recall what happens whenever he comes to her in the evenings at night, and because of that, I just don't want him to know where she is.
Well, in that case, I think your best course of action would be to find yourself some allies outside of this town. People you can count on, people you can trust to help you keep her hidden. Because, I mean, we might be able to travel with you and provide you additional support and stuff, but we're just so many people. And if Strahd's as strong as what everyone here fears he is, which I think he's probably pretty darn close to it, we're not going to stop him. So we got to understand that if we're going to be doing this and you want to leave here with your sister, we got to be looking at this as the long game. It's going to take a while. We're going to probably have to make some tough choices along the way. And we
Ah,
need to keep in mind what our actual goal is here. not just keeping her safe, but it's eventually taking Strahd down.
You all have only just arrived and you've already reached that conclusion. Does that not tell you how dire of a situation it is? And I know that in the places that I want, the place that I'd like to ultimately take her, that the church is still an active presence there, and it's not one here. And if I just feel as though if he doesn't know where she is, that is all the better. And like, yes, I understand you all might not stay around or be able to offer much, but you could offer your service as we move her to a different location. And if
Also,
you
I
don't
don't mean to
wish
be
to,
speaking.
that's okay as well. I understand. I am prepared to do this on my own, but I thought you all came here, and it seemed quite peculiar that you ended up here, and I thought maybe fate had brought you here.
I'm just speaking for myself here. I don't mean to speak for the others here. I do believe there is a reason we're here, and I believe that reason is Strahd. But I just don't want us to overlook the fact that we don't know this place. We don't know you. We don't know your sister. We don't know everything else here. It's going to be a long time before we're in a position to do much of note besides just being gods for hire, essentially, for you. At least that's the way I view it. I don't know what my compatriots and traveling companions think. I'd like to hear their thoughts. But as I stand here, I think we would be remiss if we did not at least attempt to help them in some fashion, as long as we understand that we're not going straight to the deep end, as it were.
I agree. As we've seen some other letters from Strahd and read some other letters from Strahd that show that either he thinks very highly of himself, or he is an extremely dangerous person. So treading with caution is definitely a good idea. But I also do think that we are here for a reason. I think the mists work in mysterious ways. Mysterious ways. No.
Mm,
Well, I mean, if you are not fully ready to commit to traveling with us, the least I can have you all do is to perhaps come and you can have lodging at our home. It's quite large and should be good for you all, and then perhaps you can decide from there what you would like to do. But I will be setting out soon, with or without the group coming with.
Do you know how to get where you're going? I guess is the biggest question I have. Because if you do, then I don't see any reason why we wouldn't. You'd be as good as a guide for us.
Agreed.
Yes, I am very familiar with the lay of the land. I have not been specifically to the village I wish to take her, but I am very aware of where it is located, and I'm very aware of the travel between here and there. I've not quite gone that far, and which the distance of that alone makes me feel that it could be a much safer option for her.
uh, I think, why don't you let us think it over as we sit night with y'all, and we can make a decision fully on it after some rest for us, I think.
Some of us need baths. Just saying.
I don't appreciate the comment about my smell. I can't exactly control the fact that I was vomited on several times.
That's you. I thought that might have been me. It's been a few days. Like I said, my father has only just passed about 3 days ago.
That is unfortunate. You have my condolences.
Well, shall we finish our, get one last round of wine, and then I can take you back to my home and welcome you all in, and you can meet Irina for yourselves as well.
Sounds great to me, and I'll start playing my hand drum again.
Enough of that, if please. The last time you played it, it was like ringing in my ears.
Oh, let me see if I have anything else on me, and I can't find any other instruments. I'm all out of instruments, so I'll stop playing my hand drum.
All right. Anything else for you all before we call it a wrap for tonight? I feel like we're at a good stopping point. Not as climatic as typical, but still good.
Yeah, I think this is a good point to stop.
Do we still hear the crying of the lady that was in her house?
I was actually wondering that.
Yeah,
in my head, I had like thought it a few times. It is much more muffled, especially if Caslin is drumming. Whenever like there's a lull in conversation, you do still hear it.
Then I'll just say, I know we're wrapping up, but for next time, I think I'm just going to bring a bottle over to the crying lady, maybe just to dull her spirits a bit.
Yes, that's Mary that you mentioned. We've just kind of learned to tune her out. I'm not sure how to assist her. Her child has gone missing. She's been a wreck about it, but no one can really console her enough to make heads or tails of what has happened precisely.
Well, I'll bring her this bottle anyway. Just maybe talk to her a bit. But
Wine is always a good comfort for the soul.
hell yeah, it is.
All right, so we will pick up with taking Mary some wine,
Among other things.
among other things. All right, if you were tuned in watching, thank you all for joining us. We will be. Are we streaming next week? Do you all know? I should look this up before. I always get here.
Technically, yes, we're scheduled to.
Okay, cool. Yep, we will be back next week to pick up with visiting Mary, delivering some wine, and going to meet Irina. If you tuned in, we will see you next week, or feel free to watch my Friday group, which is streaming on Wednesday, tomorrow, to make up for some of the holiday streams that we missed. All right, everybody, have a good night, chat, if you're tuned in. See ya!
Thank you all.
Have a good night and be excellent to each other.
Bye.